Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right. Hi, I'm Amitabh, as you guys already know. I work for the web marketing team. We did a small little presentation for our group. I want to show how Web 2.0, which I'm pretty sure anyone who's online on the internet has heard about. It's like the next phase of the internet development and how it impacts VMware, and more precisely, how it impacts VMware.com, which is our corporate website. And that's used by most of us as the corporate landing page, our marketing, which you know pretty well, is our marketing, how we address the larger audience regarding our products, our communication, and so forth. We already use this technology, and this presentation was about that. It's small little slides, which unfortunately you're not able to see it, but let me go through this. The Web 2.0 word was coined by Paul Riley. It's one of the biggest internet present, I guess, media company. Is that a fair way to say, Scott?
Yes.
It's a media company?
Yeah.
So, technology-oriented media company, making a big presence on the internet. And the word was coined by them, O'Reilly, and most of our technology is based on that. Web 2.0, in a nutshell, giving power to the users. An example would be MySpace, where user-generated content comes online. And so this is the small presentation around that. Some of the suggestions that I wanted to make for this was using some of the social networking aspects within our VMware.com, and probably we can make our community even more stronger. Using some of our more recent technologies like Ajax, and you've heard of Ajax? Sure, Scott? Have you been using that, some of that functionality within KB as yet?
Familiar with it, but I haven't used it.
Okay, so it's something, it just makes your user interface more graphical rich. If you've seen Google Maps would be a very good example of that. When you spot in a map, you can scroll down the maps around the place. That's a very good example of how the Google Maps is an example of Ajax. I somehow keep on dreaming of words around here. So is that 2 minutes up here?
That's 2 minutes. So how would you close? How would you wrap up?
So anyway, in a nutshell, that was my presentation. My close-up is that we have an exciting future ahead of us. There's a lot of work for all of us to do. This is just a laundry list to get us started. This is not the end of it. This is just a beginning. That's all I have to say.
Okay, excellent. Great job. Okay, good. Okay, so a little bit of feedback, and thanks, Bernard, for doing the slides. A couple points on what we liked. What did you like in this presentation? What worked? Yeah, Scott.
I like that you did do the one person, one thought quite consistently.
Yep. Did everyone feel connected? Mm-hmm. You really connected with. I felt like you were very conversational. You looked very comfortable, and you made a lot of personal connections with us by delivering one thought, one person. Now, were you practicing one thought, one person?
Oh, it's more because it's the second half of the class, so I went through a kind of orientation. For example, I know Amy better. I know Kathleen. So I have more of an understanding of the group. They're not as strange as a lot of people who went ahead of me. Right. So that helped. Of course, we went through the whole class practice, and observing other people. So,
good, good. What else did you like?
I felt like he was very motivated by his subject matter. He was very interested, and that he knew I felt like he knew what he was talking about.
What did he do specifically that gave you that impression? Because I agree, but it's helpful to kind of specify. What did he do?
Interaction.
The interaction.
Ask questions.
The voice was there. The confidence level was there.
Yeah, the tone of voice, I think, and his movement into like the space here.
Yeah.
I have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, you really kind of assumed the room. You didn't seem afraid of the room. You took your power. You know what I'm saying? And it was through the eye contact. It was through a little bit of movement. So you walked up to someone and you looked at them and you talked to them. There was good gestures. So you really did come across as passionate and knowledgeable and confident. So really nicely done.
Thank you.
One more thing I liked is not on a physical, but you had a really nice opening and a really strong close. So sometimes presenters will go straight into the middle. They'll just sort of get into what it is they want to get into without having a nice opening and a nice close. So the opening was, guys, here's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. Here's why. You set the context. And then you got into it. And then when I said, okay, how would you close? You didn't just say, okay, that's it, thank you. You actually said, so again, this is just, what we're starting to think about, the next steps, a lot of next, you had a nice closing as well. So there was a real fluidity, beginning, middle, end.
Mind if I ask a quick question?
Yes.
You mentioned something, you repeated the same word three, what
The
is it?
tell him outline. Tell him what you're going to tell him.
Tell him, tell him.
Tell him, and tell him what you told him. So you told us what you were going to tell us, and then you told us, and then you told us what you told us.
Tell him. Tell him. Tell him.
How about for next time?
Tell them.
Tell them, like tell them, tell them. Tell them what you're going to tell them. What would make Amit's presentation even more effective? Any comments? Yeah.
Maybe more pauses in the conversation.
Because why?
I didn't get a great sense for when one point was ending and another was starting.
Yep. And actually, it was what I asked you to do a little bit more of in the exercise, is pausing.
Right.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing the only thing you were doing that made me tell you were nervous was because it was a little fast, and I felt like you needed to take a breath.
Yes.
And so by pausing, it'll allow you to take a breath. And then keep going. Breathing and pausing sends oxygen to your brain so you can actually think more clearly. It slows you down. It calms you down. It gives your audience a chance to stay with you. So we'll practice that afterwards. But overall, great job.
Thank you.